Wimpy is a truly South African brand, and we embrace that rich melting pot of culture that is within this country, and we celebrate and we embrace the diversity in this country too. And we are a family-oriented brand, and we want families to spend more time together, and what better way to spend time together than through reading. And that's why we partnered with Ethnikids to bring South African stories to our South African children. So you can find the English books in any Wimpy nationwide. All you have to do is order a kids combo meal and you are able to get an English version of the book. However, if you go onto our website, you are able to download the book in any of our official languages. And what's really great to know as well is that we have included an extra language this year, which is Koinama, and there's actually a campaign underway to make this an official language within South Africa. So what we have found, and this is actually one of the reasons we partnered with Ethnikids, is that most stories are written in very few languages within South Africa, and that's why we partnered with Ethnikids, so that we could have books written in every single different South African language. And the reason it is so important is because our children need to grow up reading books in their own language.
So today was really a fantastic initiative that Wimpy and Ethnikids started, because it makes sure that the books are accessible, the books that are in various languages, which represent our own culture, our own story as a people, and that is what has been missing in the market. So there was no way that I could say no to this initiative, because it just speaks so boldly about what I stand for as a psychologist, making sure that our children get the very best, and I think the initiative did just that. Well, pre-COVID, we know that the stats were not looking great in terms of literacy in the country. It was estimated that a grade 4 child was reading on a grade 3 level. This is now pre-COVID. Post-COVID, having children having lost out on about 15 months of contact time and learning, we know that the stats are not looking good. So we're estimating at about 2 years behind rather, that children are functioning. So we cannot expect literacy to just be taught at school with that gap. It is something that also has to be taught in the home as well. And the best way to do that is for the parents to read to their children and make sure that when they read, they don't just read for the sake of reading, but they're reading for meaning as well.
I've always loved the stage, and so like theatre and performance was really where I kind of like was raised in a way. But I think it's almost like innate in a way, because whenever I had to read a story, it just felt right. And I remember in my high school we would have drama bi-weekly, and every time I'd be like, I just wish it was already the following week so I can like read another story again. And so I really think it's something that is one innate, but also I think that my grandmother and my mother, they would tell stories in our home, and that really is fed into the love of storytelling and now creating stories. It feels incredible. I mean, just like the caliber of writers, like just think of someone like Mam Mhlophe, Bianca Flanders, just the kind of people who are creating in this cohort is so incredible, but also the cohort of people that have come before. I'm thinking of people like Lebohang Masango. It's really, really incredible. I think it's very honoring. The idea that you could have any Wimpy in the country and walk in and it's like, hey, could I just take for the book, right? Like, and I think just that possibility is so exciting, because it means that kids can reach and find the book anywhere in the country in their own language, and I think that's really, really special. So I feel incredibly honored to be part of this today. Chicharita is a story about a rebel ant that wants to escape a colony called Ujama, a socialist state, and they want to be an individual and they want to have their own sense of themselves. They want to be an individual, they want to have a stronger sense of who they are as a person, and so they go really to explore and to find and to seek. And so it's a story about exploration, it's a story about knowing one world and wanting to see what another looks like, but of course every world has its own goods and bads, and I think that's really what Chicha experiences, that not everything that glitters is gold, but it's also a story of forgiveness and home, but also of country systems, and I think that's really, really exciting that I can get to teach children about that so early on. We are very privileged to have partnered with Wimpy. Why we've done it is that we find there's a lot of synergies between our brands. Wimpy is all about family, it's all about loving South Africa, loving our local languages, and that's very much aligned to who we are. A big part of our mission at Ethnikids is to make reading a part of the everyday lifestyle, and Wimpy is a place where families gather, families enjoy themselves, and that's why the partnership just made sense to us. So the 5 moms were myself and friends of mine, and we had all become mothers, and you are also avid readers, but you can't find the kind of material that you'd like to share with your children, and that was a challenge that we had. In South Africa, a lot of mainstream bookstores actually import about 80% of the books that they stock, which is ridiculous given the local talent that we have and the multiple languages that we have in the country as well. And we set out to find the books, make sure that they are easily accessible to other mothers who have similar challenges to ourselves. Our collaboration with Wimpy means that we've created 5 different books using the very best local authors, illustrators, as well as translators. The feedback so far has been very positive. A lot of good feedback has been received, and this is actually the 2nd year that we're doing this. Last year was enormously successful. A lot of beautiful collaborations built between the authors and illustrators that were partnered on the project. So really looking forward to what 2022 is going to bring, and the joy that is going to spark in children, and the love for literature that we hope it's going to bring about.
For more stories like these, go to www.social-tv.co.za, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on our social mediums.